welcome back. Welcome back to Seattle Connected, the show that connects you, of course, with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community, letting you know who they are first before they become household names, which we know they soon will be, right?
Right.
I like that. Today with me is an amazing author who has a gift for not only expressing herself with the pen, but also inspiring others by her true life story that most would think, hey, how can someone be that vulnerable and open up on pages to millions and millions of strangers? Well, it's nothing for her. She's as tough as they come, but always a lady in the process. And she's looking to help you be the best you possible, finding strength through her writings and then some. Please give it up for the innovator and author, my friend Cassie. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, how was the intro?
Awesome. Awesome.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to make sure. Welcome. I wanted to treat my guests good. So I'm glad you're here. Love the earrings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
Yes.
You okay with that?
One day. Yes.
One day. You'll be there. Shout out to Africa.
Shout out to Africa.
Yeah, pretty special place.
I'm Nigerian, and I took my DNA, and I'm part Nigerian. I'm a bunch of stuff, but
yeah,
that's the first thing that comes to mind.
You're gonna roll with it, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it.
That's what's up. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here, Miss Author. Yeah, so I wanted to read the book ahead of time, which I did when we spoke, and I said, I'm gonna read this book and then I'm gonna get back to you. So, I purchased the book, and I advise everyone else to purchase the book. And it was a really good read, and there was a lot in there, and we'll go into that, but there was a lot in there that kind of took me back to a certain place in time. Just the area and what was happening in the state of Washington, and then my own upbringing and childhood memories. And was it hard for you to put yourself back in time in that place and say, all right, I'm going to relive this time in my life, and there might be some things that I have to relive and go through again? Was that hard to do, that part? Or
yes.
Was it? Yeah.
That was difficult because then you relive all the emotions too. So whatever it is that I've come through, when you're reliving that, it's like, man, I didn't realize how hurt I was over this, or I didn't realize how much this particular thing affected me.
Right.
And so to relive it is to re-cry, be re-angry, even if that's a word,
It is
and
now.
just
It is now.
make up our own words.
Yeah, we rolling with it.
But it's difficult.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but it was also freeing too. Once it was on paper and published, it was like a burden has been lifted.
Yeah. Yeah. Being that you are biracial, right? It's not a secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Nah, it was in the book. So, hey, I'll say what you shouldn't have put in the book if you don't want anybody to know. Growing up, did you ever feel a sense of having to prove that you are as black as your friends who might have both black mom and dad, or did you feel like you had to denounce being white or having a white mom? Like, what was that like?
Because I was raised on my mom's side of the family, I feel like I was caught in between the two. So I never really said, oh, I'm black or I'm white. I'm just mixed. And I feel like when we're saying that we're mixed, we kind of like brush it with a paintbrush, like just cover it up. I don't want to be either or. And it was difficult trying to fit in, being biracial and not being raised in my dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like I'm not black. I'm too white to be black, but I'm too dark to be white. So I'm stuck somewhere in the middle.
Did your father or your mother ever try to console you, like when you were going through these things and you were just trying to find like where you fit in?
No, they didn't even know I was going through it.
Yeah.
I kind of was just going through it on my own.
Right.
And sometimes if I brought anything to her, I'm overreacting. it's all in my head.
Mm.
So it's like it never happened.
So then it kind of trains you to shut down.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. I can only imagine that as a kid. Back in the 80s and before.
I was born in 75.
Okay,
so yeah.
all right. I was waiting for you to open the door. You know,
Yeah,
some people be like,
I love my
business.
No, that's my. I was born in 75.
Yes.
I am 48 right now, and I love it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, and I love it. Yeah, because the only other option is, hey, you wouldn't be here. So.
Look, it's the second half. So.
Okay, come on. For all the people who are too young to remember, you know, how was the 80s growing up for you? How was that?
Playing outside.
Yes.
When there was no cell phones.
Come
and we
on.
played double dutch and hopscotch and played in the grass and
Yes.
rolled around
For hours.
Come on.
For
You could stay outside until the street lights came on.
Mm.
Like there was no inside.
Yeah.
Everything was outside, climbing trees. I used to climb this big tree in the front of our house and look out over around the projects and just look at people. And we had a huge playground across from our house. It's this big old open grass, and you just run across the street and go play.
Yeah. Wow.
We're not stuck inside.
Right. Be a kid. Can you imagine
You
that?
could be
Going
a
outside
kid.
and playing. Wow, the simple joys in life. And it's funny because if you think back, most of the time we had to be told it's time to come inside.
Absolutely.
We didn't want to go inside.
Because we were having too much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the games we was playing, we shouldn't have been playing.
Okay. Yeah. True. Yeah.
True. I don't know if they play them now, but we were outside. We was outside. We weren't stuck behind our phones. Most of us didn't even have home phones, and if you did, it was one phone with you couldn't click over because it was one line.
Yeah.
Anybody called your house, you get the busy tone. So
yeah,
I think it's when life was more simpler.
Mm.
I think once cell phones were introduced, it's a little more complicated.
The internet and everything. Do you miss that time?
I don't miss it completely because what I love about the internet is being able to go places without actually stepping foot. Like, say I can't make it to Africa, but I can make it through the internet. So, but I do miss just the camaraderie, the actually community, the neighbors taking care of the kids, you know, everyone looking out for one another. I don't think we do that anymore.
No, that's missing, and I really feel like we need to get back to that. So what area did you grow up in?
I grew up in a lot of areas. So we started out at Yesler Terrace. When I was born, we started out Yesler Terrace. And then recently I just found out we also lived in Holly Park, which I didn't know that. That's not in the book. So we went from Yesler Terrace to Holly Park to Rainier Vista to High Point.
Wow. Moved around.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
All of them projects.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say they all have a common theme, like, you know, but yeah. Hey, but that was life, right? And you have
a brother and a sister.
Yes. Yeah. So there's
I'm
three
the
of
oldest.
you guys. You the oldest. You said it with your chest out too.
I'm the oldest. I was the terrorizer too.
Oh, yeah. You saying that? Yeah. Yeah, I read the book. So you growing up in these different projects, and you know, at times you got into some trouble. Did you ever think, I know when you're going through stuff and at such a young age, you're not, you know, kind of dissecting everything the way you would when you're older, but looking back now, did you ever think that some of the things you did was a cry for help or attention somehow? Or
Absolutely. I feel as if because I wasn't getting the attention from my mom and my dad was nowhere in the picture, I had to find the attention from somewhere. And so that was the neighborhood. That was the gang life. That was the people that I felt were going to give me the attention that I needed. And so I did. I got into a lot of trouble. But at the time, they felt like family. It felt like the thing to do.
Yeah. When you were getting in trouble and you felt like, hey, this is a sense of family, did you ever worry about disappointing your family, like your blood related family?
My grandma sober. I never wanted to disappoint her. And there were times when I'd be stuck downtown because the last 7 stopped running.
Yep.
Back then, they didn't run. I don't know if they still run, if they run all night. But back then, they stopped running at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to call her and be like, Grandma, can you come pick me up? And without question, she would drive down, come pick me up, and bring me home. Never questioned what I was doing. I'm pretty sure she knew I was high or drunk or something, but
Mm-hmm.
she never questioned, and she was always there for me. And I never wanted to disappoint her at
Mm-hmm.
all. So I did my best in school. Even when I was going to an alternative high school, I was still getting good grades.
Mm-hmm.
She was the most important person to me.
Yeah, shout out to her. And number one, I'm not going to ask what was happening that kept you out past 2 a.m., but that's in the past. You'll have to read the book. I was like, she said only till 2 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing out at 2 a.m.? But hey, you know what? That's in the book. That's in the past. I think it's amazing the relationship you have with your grandma because growing up, you mentioned that you guys didn't have a lot of money and you still could always count on your grandma's love. And even with her making sure that, she could get you some new outfits for school and shoes and everything. I think it says a lot when you go through so much like you did at such a young age, but you can look back and say, you know what, but I always had that one person in my corner that I could always go to. I
That is
think,
so important.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to your grandma.
Yeah,
Man.
and when
She
you
was,
lose that one thing,
yeah,
it really turns your world upside down.
yeah. Wow. So now, when did you start writing?
I've always written.
Mm-hmm.
I used to write poetry when I was a youth to escape what was happening, and I
Mm-hmm.
still have those poems till this day.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't officially start writing, I want to say, until about 2008, where God said put it in paper. I
Yeah.
believe it was 2008. And I just slowly was writing it down and trying to jog my memory of what happened and what didn't happen, and trying to make sense of it all. And so I would say 2008 is when I officially started writing. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. I had so much to say and so many memories, and I would have nightmares and dreams, and we'd have conversations, and so it was just a lot. But then I had to stop when my grandma got sick. So I
Mm.
stopped writing because grandma got sick. She had cancer, and then I was working 2 and 3 jobs.
Mm.
So, but it's not easy to sit in the quietness of your mind and write everything down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. What's one thing that you wish kids today could learn from your book, from your story?
To believe in self first, to always believe in yourself, that you are a beautiful human being, that you were created for a purpose, and you don't have to please everybody. You don't have to try to find love from everywhere as long as you have love from that one place.
Mm. Wow. No, that's true. You also have to remember to love yourself,
Yes.
and not look for validation from each and every person you meet or come across, because I think you'll spend so much time trying to please others, you won't be pleasing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be mad because you spent so much time trying to please people who weren't even worth it.
Right. Right.
That's just me talking. I'm sorry.
No, you will.
This is about you.
No, but you'll look back and you'll be like, dang. And I used to look at it like I wasted so much time. But then I recently changed that to, you know what? I didn't waste time. I learned a lesson.
Mm.
So what lesson did I learn? And I'm spending all this time trying to do this for that or do this for so and so as I put myself in the back burner.
Yeah.
So it's the lesson learned, and you make the adjustment and you keep moving forward.
Let me ask you this. What would you say was if there was one or two, turning point from when you were out, being young, careless, and then you said, I got to get my stuff together. This isn't right. Was it a conversation you had with your grandma? Was it getting in trouble with the law? Was it a teacher? What point were you like, I got to slow down. I got to make some changes?
When I got pregnant with my son,
Mm.
that was the turning point. Because it's no longer about me. It's about this human being that's inside of me. Now, of course, at the time, I didn't know I was having a boy. I didn't find that out till after he was here. But that was the turning point. when you have to take care of somebody else besides yourself.
Mm. Yeah. So what was those first couple years like as a mother, as a young mother? Because you were how old when?
I was 18
Yeah.
when I had my son. It was difficult because I was trying to make it work with his father. So that was a tumultuous time, the first couple of years. Because in those first couple of years, I was not only a mother of one, but I was a mother of two, and dealing with a lot of violence in that situation. So that was difficult.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just being so young, I bet, in a way, being a kid yourself.
Yes. My mom was a kid when she had me, and so then I was a kid when I had him, and all I knew was violence. So when that's all you know, you think that's all you deserve.
Mm.
So it was a rough time.
Mm. So having kids young and being a mother, do you think you were still in some ways trying to fit in with some of your friends from before? Like, all right, yeah, I'm a mom, but I'm still young and I can.
At that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
still trying to kick it. I was
Yeah.
still trying to be in the. She was trying to go to the clubs all the time.
Yeah.
I was working, but I was still trying to be out in the clubs. And I think I want to say the real turning point was I was out celebrating one time with some of their family or whatever, and I got really, really, really drunk,
Mm.
and I drove home. And that is not a safe thing to do. I do not recommend that to anybody. I had the windows rolled down. I had the music blasting because I trying to fit in, take shots with people, and I'm not even a drinker like that. And I got so wasted. I made it home safely, and when I woke up the next day, I just felt like a truck ran over me. And I said, you know what? This ain't it. It took that moment and me. I could have lost my life. My kids could have been without their mother, and just making a dumb decision to drive home intoxicated. And that next day when I woke up, it was no bueno. For like 3 days, it was trash.
Mm.
And I just said, you know what, this ain't it. Like, you need to get it together. It ain't that serious.
No, not at all. Not at all. When you're putting yourself and others in harm's way,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, nah, this isn't it. Nah,
Yeah,
there got to
it's
be
not worth it.
something else. Wow. Cassie, what do you think biracial kids who are growing up today can take from your story as far as fitting in and feeling like, okay, I don't have a place? I'm trying to find my place.
I think you would find your place if you do the work, if you do the research. My kids are biracial, so I'm black and white. My kids are Polynesian. And so for me, it was trying to make sure that they knew both sides. And so, like, if our parents aren't the ones who are going to teach us both sides, maybe we need to do the work for ourselves so we can really know who we are as a person.
Right. Yeah.
So, just not knowing and not understanding how valuable I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm biracial, but I'm still human. I just came from two different races,
Yeah.
ethnicities.
Mm.
Yeah, because human is the race, ethnicities.
Yeah.
Just love yourself. Love every piece of you, whether you're Japanese and black, whatever mixture you are. Just love you for you, and know that you were made. You're a masterpiece. There's no one else in this world like you. You and me, we don't have the same fingerprint. We are two different people, even though we're both sitting up here as black people. We're human first.
Yeah. Let's talk about the title of the book. Go ahead. You can.
Identity Cry. Play on the word.
I got
Cry.
cry.
Sis. Now, the title of the book is because I struggled my whole life to figure out who I was as a black woman. And it took me until the age of 45 to actually look in the mirror and see, no, girl, you are a black woman. You are a beautiful black woman at that. So I came up with that title because I was having an identity crisis. And I cried a lot of tears trying to figure out just who I am, whose I am, and where I belong in this world.
Hmm. You should have called me. I would have given you a hug. I would have, I got you. Come on, Cassie. You don't have to go through it alone.
So right now, I know who I am, I know whose I am, and I know I belong. I don't have to try to fit in. Because when I walk into a room, you're going to see me, and I'll brighten up any room that I go into. And I don't have to force my way in because I belong.
Yeah.
But before, I felt like I had to force my way in. It's like, well, you don't belong here, so how can I belong? I have to turn into a chameleon and turn into all these different people just to make myself belong. But now I know I belong. I belong in this community.
Did you come up with the title before you finished the book?
Oh, I had the title, yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally, it was going to be just Identity Cry-Sis, just the word identity. And then a friend of mine was like, play it on the words. And he helped me come up with the title Identity Cry-Sis. Sis is an acronym for sister, and I am a sister.
Hey, say it like you mean it.
Say it with my chest.
Yes. So, Cassie, one thing I like about the book is at the end of the chapters, you have almost like a little recap. I'm trying to think of the correct title of how you marked it.
It's called Careful Consideration.
Yes, careful consideration. And you kind of like give like a recap, like, all right, now with everything that you read in this chapter, and it's almost like advice. And I love some things, you have scriptures and they kind of relate to like what the reader just read. And it's like, oh, so you kind of summarize it. I like that.
I want you to take away some form of healing in your own journey to your wholeness, because this is my journey to wholeness. And so I want you to, when you're reading it, to do a self-evaluation of, oh, okay, well, maybe I need to forgive that person, or maybe I need to love myself more, or maybe I need to do this or make this adjustment. So with everything that I've been through, and of course I know that we've all been through something, I want you to come out a better person.
How important do you think it is to do the work and heal yourself before you can try to heal other people's problems or things that they're going through?
Oh my gosh, it's so important.
Tell them.
Because, we're taught hurt people. And if you're not healed, all you're doing is going around hurting people because you're projecting. Everything that someone has done to you, you're projecting on somebody else. So if you don't do the inner work, you're just walking around projecting on people. And you may think that you're helping, but really you're hurting.
Yeah. What was the response like from your kids when you finished the book and then they got they was looking at you like, Mom?
All of them have not read it yet. My oldest and my youngest have read it. And one thing I can say is that if you're going to write a book about your life story, make sure you sit your kids down first if they're adults and have a conversation, because there are a lot of things that my son and my youngest son will find out after the fact that they were kind of shocked and was like, so talk first. It's just like when I spoke in ministry and I was going to speak about some of the things that I went through as a youth and as a teenager. I sat my daughters down prior to me going up to speak. And I should have sat my kids down just to let them know, okay, you about to be bamboozled with a whole bunch of stuff that your mama done been through. Hold on, because you're going to enjoy the ride, but it's going to be bumpy a little bit. So my advice for anybody is sit them down and talk to them first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you piss anybody off?
If they knew I was talking about them?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Because I've talked to some people. No, I'm just kidding. She's like, really?
I said not that I'm aware of.
She's like, I'm not aware.
Some people probably don't even know that they're in the book. I mean, I had a girlfriend who she's in a few people are in the book. Some people haven't finished it because people just need to read more. Because you could read it in literally 2 days. It's not long. But I don't know if I pissed anybody off.
Do you care?
No, because it's my story. And I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just telling my story through my eyes and what happened to me and how I've overcome.
Yeah. You're still here.
Yes. Still standing.
How important has your faith in God been as far as you being still here at the young age of 40 something and being
48.
okay? That's 48. Excuse me. Trying to
48, thank
intimidate
you.
me, man. No, but
Sorry.
how? But no, no, no. You're fine. I know that you're a very faith driven person. How has that played a part in you being the person now that can accept the person you once were?
Oh my gosh, I think my faith has. If I didn't have faith, I don't know where I would be. God has been so good to me, and there was a time when I was too much. Too, I was like all the way one sided.
Yeah,
Um, you would call like a Bible
thumper.
thumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them. I was one of them. Yeah, I was
Okay.
one of them. So I have evolved so much in my faith, in my spiritual walk, that I'm able to show grace and extend grace to others and just be like, hey, that's your journey. If you need a helping hand, you can ask. If you want advice, I'll tell you, but you can get through it. You can do it because God is amazing. And as long as I continue to work on the God in me, then I'll continue to evolve.
Mm.
And yeah, I just love God. And he just continues to make a way as long as I do the work. But I got to do the work.
What do they say? Faith without actions
Faith without works is
works
dead.
is dead.
Yeah, faith is an action word, just like love is action.
Hmm.
I can tell you I love you till I'm blue in the face, but what am I doing for you? I'm just talking. That's like me saying, well, I'm not the same, but I still speak the same.
Hmm.
What have I changed? If you're still saying the same things, singing the same songs, you haven't changed. So God is doing a work in me. He continues to do a work in me, or she, whoever you believe in, your God, your Buddha, your universe, whatever. Um, and as he continues to show me grace every day, then I extend grace to the next person.
Look at you. Look at you. Cassie, what would the 48? I'm 48. You said it all. I'm not your enemy. Come on.
No, you're not my
No, we
enemy.
don't have to do
I'm
that.
not ashamed of my
Listen,
age.
I'm not ashamed of your
I
age
am not
either.
ashamed of my
I
age.
just celebrated a birthday. I'm not ashamed of your age either. You know what I'm saying? But what would the 48-year-old Cassie tell the 14-year-old Cassie? If you could sit her down right now, what advice would you give her? Encouragement?
I would tell her to stay focused, don't get distracted, and know that you are loved. You don't have to go chasing love because love is in you. You belong here, and you were created for a major purpose. So don't worry about who's doing what, who's doing this, who's doing that. You just do the work for you. You work on you, you work hard. Everything that glitter is not gold. And the grass is not always greener on the other side. You just have to water your grass.
Hmm. Cassie, can you let the people at home know how they can get a hold of this amazing book and also stay in touch with your blog and your upcoming works and just everything, Cassie?
Everything Cassie.
Everything, Cassie.
So,
everything.
Everything Cassie.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know.
So this is the book right here. See, and it's Identity Cry-Sis, A Journey to Wholeness. And you can get this book anywhere books are sold, but you can also get it off my website, CassieKarch.com. That's CassieKarch.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Cassie Karch. I do a weekly blog. I also am doing poetry now, and I'm bringing this book alive. And so I encourage you to pick up the book, support an independent author, Seattle-based independent author, because I got something to say, and more books are on the way.
Yes. Any shout outs?
Shout out to my kids for dealing with me. Shout out to David at Seattle Connected for having me. And just shout out to Seattle because we belong here and we got a story to tell. So keep up the great work.
That's right. You keep up the great work, Cassie. Thank you. This was fun. I hope you had fun. And I look forward to seeing your next couple of books. You were telling me about one of them, like, oh yeah, that's gonna be good. I don't know if they're gonna be ready for that. That's not for the whole family. That's for yeah. That's gonna be good though. It's gonna be awesome. And thank you for bringing your energy, your spirit, your wisdom, kind words, and like we were talking about earlier. You know, if you can influence one person, if you can affect one person, then it was worth it. And you're doing the work, and I can tell how happy you are just talking about it and the place that you're in. I can tell you're in a good space. So thank you for blessing us with your presence, and I'll be in touch, Miss Cassie. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I have to thank you guys for always tuning in. Like I say, it's important to take care of others, but please, please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.